What's up guys, everything fish, doing a big fish room update. Been a while since I've done one, and I've got a lot of new stuff, a couple new tanks again, and a ton of new fish. So getting right into it. There's only 2 tanks that haven't had anything done to them, and this one and the 70, well, this is the 75 and my 30 tall. Nothing has changed with them. So, but there is something next to my 75 now, which I didn't think I'd have room for, but I fit it in there. So, without further ado, here it is. And forgive the ghetto setup on top, but I didn't have a spare lid laying around. This is a 5.5 gallon, so 16 inches by 8 inches by 10 inches, I believe. And I was at my local fish store the other day. He had some natives in with feeders, and I just couldn't resist. So there's 3 little yellow bullheads in here. They're about 2 inches long, and as you can see, they're highly diurnal. They're eating frozen just well, and pretty soon I'm going to have them on dry, I suspect, and they will just swim all day. Not even just for food. You like that, they'll go to the top. So hopefully they'll keep that characteristic, and obviously having 4 bullheads in a 75 gallon is going to be overstocked. So when these guys outgrow this tank in about, I'm guessing, a month or 2, they're going to go in a 20-gallon bin on this table, which is just like a plastic thing from when I was a kid, but it's all I had laying around for a stand. And then when they get too big for that, I wanted to keep this a surprise, but I'm like 90% sure I'm going to be putting in a large native pond in the spring, like around April. So something at least 1,000 gallons. And the area I picked out is 1,500 gallons, but I still have to convince my parents that that's the area I want to put it, and not the spot they want to. But yeah, awesome. I got 3 little yellow bullheads, so let's move on to the fish room. Here in the fish room, which still has a glare on the chub tank, but you can see not nearly as much, because up there you can see I finally put a light on this thing. The 36-inch hood that I had on it forever that flickered was scaring them, so I had that off forever. So I just had a spare 20 long hood laying around. So I mean, it's a 30-inch light on a 36-inch tank, but it still pretty much lights it up, and it gives fish some shady spots in the edges to hide. And also I got one new fish for it that I went out collecting Wednesday or Tuesday night, and I got a bunch of new stuff. Thought this was a central stone roller when I got it to eat the algae, but yeah, not that. This is going to be the biggest fish I have size-wise once it gets big. This is a white sucker, guys. Suckers are known to be pretty hard to keep in captivity, but I'm going to start moving on to harder natives because I feel like I'm ready for it. These guys mainly eat crustaceans and insects in the wild and the substrate. I have this guy he only eats about 1 out of every 10 brine shrimp I scored at him, but he is eating that, and hopefully eventually I'll have him on melted shrimp pellets. And by melted I mean like the water's dissolved them to make them soft. But yeah, he's cool. He's currently the biggest fish I have. You can't really see it there, but yeah, scared him. But he's about from the edge of my hand to the tip of my middle finger. He's like 6.5, 7 inches. Which still isn't that big of a fish, but for a guy who's been doing nothing but small fish for a while, it's a pretty nice size. And there he is, schooling with the chubs. Yeah, he's just awesome. Got tons of personality, schools with those chubs. Other than that, he pretty much just hides on the sponge filter all day, but he'll get better. And I said he was going to get big. Suckers do grow slow, but this guy is expected to grow to around 24 inches. I'm dead serious. This thing is going to get 2 feet long. And I'm excited for that, because it's also going to go in the pond I'm building. But, yeah, let's get on to some of the other tanks I have. Oh, there, you can see him sifting through the gravel there. Nice. So, let's move on to the Planted Creek tank. Hey, now you can see immediately, like, what the heck are all these new fish in here? There's actually movement in this tank, finally. Well, again, these are fish I got from collecting Tuesday night at a local drainage pool from my local creek. And it has all kind of fun fish in it. It's where I got my creek chubs. It's got everything, guys. I took home 6 of these minnows. I thought they were all rosy face shiners when I got them. But apparently I figured out that none of them are. These two, that one and then that one, which is just, they're both beautifully colored. They got a yellow stripe with red below it, are red-side dace. I thought these were just male-female differences. But those two are red-side dace, so I'm kind of worried about them being stressed by just having two of them, but, you know, they don't seem too worried about it. But I'll cover that in a couple minutes here. And then these, I still have no idea, so if any of you know natives and know what these are, they were got in a part of the Allegheny River drainage in southwest Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh area, Pine Creek watershed. No idea. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'll get it eventually. And then here's another one. Wouldn't you know it, I was at my local fish store. They had a feeder tank. Stuff comes in from Florida. So I got another bluefin killifish. And this one's a male, so now I have a pair. There's my female right there. So yeah, you can just see the blue on his fins right there. That's a beautiful fish. So maybe I can get them breeding. And then if I can find this last fish, which it's hard for me to find it enough without the camera, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to find them. They're only about an inch long, and they hide in the hornwort. Oh, there he is. Get a zoom in on it. Oh wait, that's... No, that's not him. Well then, kind of putting me on the spot here. But I'll do another video. They're two fish, they're about 1 inch each. They're called swamp darters. I also got them in a feeder tank. They are in PA, but not around me. They're the very, 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 very eastern part of the state. If you can get any more east than Philadelphia, if that's possible, that's where you'd find swamp darters. Like, out there. But they're actually too small to eat anything I'm feeding, so they just graze on this sponge filter all day, which has become a complete scum hole. But to me, it looks really nice. This is like a self-sustaining tank now. Hornwort, water sprites, got all this nice, well, to me it looks nice, algae because it's natural. This is a real self-sustaining, natural-looking tank. Just look at that for a minute. That's awesome. This is my favorite tank right now as far as looks go. And maybe stocked. But I made a whole thread about it on Monster Fish Keepers. I don't know if any of you saw it. I know Dan Man saw it, commented on it. But this is just like a completely natural tank. I have even mussels in the substrate filtering it out. In the spring I had nymphs living in these rocks, which have hatched to be insects that flew away in my house that my mom probably killed by now. But yeah, this is just a really nice tank. All these fish being in here, it is kind of overstocked at this point. So when they all get big, this is going to be too small. I do realize that, so I plan on upgrading this tank eventually. One of these fish start putting on size to a 30 long, and then maybe I can get a bigger school of these guys and a big school of these guys going. That way it's more natural. And yeah, like a 30 long would be nice because these are going to grow too big. So let's go on to my next tank, which is the old perch tank that's now being shared with some other fish. So here's the perch tank, and the perch are starting to put on size. They're almost 2 inches now. Still shy of it. I don't know why they won't grow, because I feed them twice a day. They are plump right now because I'm putting in enough food for all the fish I got in here, but they're only eating part of it. And you just want to photobomb. This is one of the new fish. This is a black-side dace. Looked like a small rainbow trout when I got it, but I knew that wasn't what it was. This awesome looking fish. It is schooling, so I do plan on getting a whole school of these guys eventually, but for now that one's doing pretty good on it by itself for being a schooling fish. And then on the bottom, these are the only ones I collected Tuesday that still have not eaten yet. It's starting to bug me, but when they get hungry enough they'll eat, especially since I'm offering them frozen. But I got 5 of these guys in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are Johnny darters. Awesome looking native darters. You don't find these in riffles as much as a lot of other native darters. These are more like slack water and swamp inhabiting darters. So pretty cool, starting to move into other species of darters that have different habitats. These are Ethiostoma fusiform. So now I got 4 species of darters, and I love that because darters are just awesome, and if you don't like darters, there's something wrong with you. No offense. So yeah, pretty much it in this tank. I do plan on making this a biotope now that I have all these swamp lake fish. Probably going to make this a native swamp biotope soon. Get like a black substrate going, some driftwood in the middle, like some really, really, really hardy plants like Java moss on the wood, maybe like hornwort at the top. And then the perch will just share it until they grow out. Get the whole school of those black-side dace going. I think it's just awesome looking. It looks like a small trout. So let's move on to the Cory tank. Come back to the 15-gallon Cory tank, and you can see there's a breeder in there because Sunday they spawned for me. Yay! I think I said 25 eggs from the first spawn. They were spawning as I was getting home from Lake Erie on Sunday, so I think they ate quite a few eggs, but meh. And as I was getting home from school today, I was able to get another 13 eggs. Didn't do anything to trigger it at all. I didn't do water changes, so the pressure wasn't dropping. Did absolutely nothing, and they just spawned for me. I have done 2 water changes in this tank in the past week, but that's been far apart from the spawn, so it's really weird. And then it's not really a surprise at this point because you can see it right here, but here is the fry tank I just set up literally about 35-40 minutes ago. I finished setting it up like 10 minutes ago. It's nothing special, kind of bland looking, but most fry tanks are. It's a 10-gallon, 20-inch by 10-inch by 12-inch. Got about a quarter to a half an inch of sand in there. Maybe not even a half, like a quarter or a third inch. Sponge filter for my 75-gallon to cycle instantly. Nice looking stand. Got this for $25, brand new. Awesome. Got it from Aquariums and Ponds by Namato. Which is my favorite local fish store, even though it's a 40-minute drive to get to it, but whatever. And then he also gave me this free egg crate for a hood because egg crate's awesome, and if you don't like that, then there's something wrong with you. I'm going to offend a lot of people in this video. I know it. I'm going to get so many dislikes. I'm just kidding, but yeah, I'm not going to put lighting on this tank right now just because they're Corys. They're catfish. They don't really need lighting. Plus, I have the egg crate set to increase the room light coming in, so this will be bright enough for the Cory fry. I'm actually, as soon as I end this video, I'm going to transfer the eggs into this tank. Because I just set this up now, which is why I have that there. I'm never going to use that breeder net again because the parents could honestly just suck the fry under the net once they're born and kill them from suction. Look at that. They are just an awesome breeding group. That one female just will not spawn. The biggest one. She's also really old, but it's alright. I'm getting enough eggs. So yeah, that's pretty much all for my update. Got a lot of new stuff. New fish from collecting. Set up 2 new tanks since the last video, and I'm really happy with this. I got all kind of new fish. Corys are breeding for me. Things are pretty much going good for me, and also good news, hopefully, no guarantees, I'm going to have a fish room in my basement by the end of the year, which means I can go crazy setting up tanks for breeding, because I want to start doing a lot of native breeding as well. Natives, a lot of them aren't too easy to breed. Like darters can be a real challenge, but I want to try it. Even though I can't sell them, I just want to have the experience of breeding them, because if you're into breeding for the money, then alright, but it's really for the fun of it. Because just watching these guys breed on Sunday, the behavior of it was just amazing. Just cool to watch. So, I'm going to end this video here, and I will see you guys next time.